Hello, my name is Alex Thompson. I attend Missouri Western State University, and I am giving an informative speech for my COM 104 class over plastic and its effects on land and sea creatures. So I want to start with, for decades we have known that plastic has always been a sort of thing that we've heard about, but nothing that we hear about, every single day. It's not something that, is in the front of our minds always talking about. So I just wanted to give you guys some numbers. So there are 8 million tons of plastic that is dumped into our oceans every single year. That is equivalent to 133,000 U.S. military tanks. Now think about that. A U.S. tank weighs 60 tons. 60 tons. That's a lot. That's 120,000 pounds. When you think of 120,000 pounds, you already think that's an insane number. You multiply that by 133,333, and that's the equivalent of how much plastic is dumped into our oceans every year. Now, I understand that the ocean is huge, but it mainly affects the animals that are closer to the surface. And it's not just the oceans that we're talking about. It's also with the livestock. So I'm from Amarillo, Texas. I'm around livestock, I would say, a decent amount. And I notice that, debris flying all over. Those barbed wires can only do so much, or sometimes they don't have them. Plastic gets blown in. Cows, horse, goats ingest those, and it's like a confusion for them. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to throw up a graph, and this shows the percentage of what type of plastic is blown around or put into our oceans. So we have 14% of our plastic that is put into the communities of animals that are plastic bags. And then we also have a little under 12% that is plastic bottles. Now, plastic is good for recycling. You want to go on the run, just grab you a little bottle of water. It's really convenient. But being able to, as a citizen and as a moral person, to be able to look at that, you're responsible for recycling it, getting rid of it the way that you can, because it can always come back, and it can make an animal suffer. And then also on there we have a bunch of other items, but that's just the percentage of the plastic. So if you think of 14% of 8 million tons as being plastic bags, I've got one right here. This doesn't weigh anything, and 14% of 8 million of these put into our oceans every year. So I also wanted to show this graph up here of what percent of animals are affected. At the top we have fish, and you can see the graph go kind of down. So when the graph is going down, that's earlier in years. So in the past, we haven't really had a plastic problem. Maybe we didn't report it as much, but we're starting to report it more. And what we're noticing is that, people are becoming less or more careless about how they dispose of their plastic. So in the year 2020, 2019, on this graph, we see that plastic in the oceans is just going up. And I see this as a big problem, and a lot of people see this as a big problem. And one way that we can probably try to, that I've noticed that someone has gone to try to fix this problem, is actually a YouTuber that I watch. His name is Mr. Beast. He goes by Jimmy. He runs this nonprofit organization, and he teamed up with Sea Life. It is also another nonprofit organization. So what they ended up doing was they made a video, like this huge video that got over 20 million views, and they went around the oceans, and they picked up oceans, and they wanted to give out to their audience that this is the right thing to do. And for every $1 that was donated to their nonprofit organization, that was a pound of trash that they were going to be able to get rid of. and they ended up receiving close to, I want to say, $20 million it was $25 million in donations. So that means 25 million pounds of trash. Now that's a hard feat, and it probably, they aren't going to be able to pick up every piece of plastic, but they're paving a path for younger audiences to be able to see that this is the right thing to do, and that if he can do it, so can you. So that's going to wrap up the speech. What I want to be taken from the speech is that plastic is a great tool, but the way we are disposing of it can have a negative effect on other organisms and, animals in their environment. And, animals ingesting and, starving due to this problem can be an easy fix by simply, following that YouTuber, or going out, picking up a little bit of plastic off the ground, or recycling it so that it can be used for something to benefit the marine life and the livestock life. So that was Alex Thompson on my informative speech, and thank you for listening.